So it's been about 2 years since everybody talking about the harmonization, and since harmonization is out. But today what we're going to share about is the real value of harmonization. Is it good to get a harmonized or pre-harmonized unit in today's market? Because most of the units launched now is all harmonized units, right? But there's still some stocks there that's pre-harmonized today,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so before we dive into the value, okay, let's talk a little bit about URA harmonization. What is it? Just in case you still don't know. So harmonization is the URA standards for measuring the usable space. So last time, some measure from outside the wall, some inside the wall. So now they standardize in the middle of the wall, they take the measurement. And also for all the void spaces, it's not going to be counted. For example, your aircon ledge and also the airspace.
Right.
Yeah, because last time, aircon ledge can be like so big, can equivalent to a storage.
So what this means is that it improves clarity and transparency to all consumers and what you're buying into.
Usable space.
Right, you're buying the usable space. Any other space are not counted in.
So we take a comparison for a two-bedder right now. Okay, so why these two layout is because they are both in the same location, just different development. And you can see that from the layout, they are very similar. This is a dumbbell layout with the bedrooms on both sides. So lesser corridor space, lesser wastage. And on top of that, you can see the master bedroom. The toilet is a dual entrance one.
Jet toilet.
Jet toilet. And you can see their living room, the space is also pretty similar. The length and all that is very similar. So for the harmonized one, it's 527 square feet. And the pre-harmonized one, this is 623 square feet. So of course the harmonized one is slightly smaller because they don't count the aircon ledge anymore. Okay, for the harmonized one, it's already transacted at 1.137 mil all the way to 1.306 mil. And for the pre-harmonized one, the transaction is about 1.267 mil to 1.571 mil.
Okay, so as of now, we see these figures and this square foot, right? You can't really see much. What we're going to do, right, is we're going to break it down. Break it down into the actual usable space. So the one in yellow colored is harmonized. The one in blue is the one that is pre-harmonized. So you break down into like the living room space, the balcony, the master bedroom, the bedroom, to the master bath. All this space we add together. And aircon ledge, again, for harmonized, not included. For pre-harmonized, is included, but we'll remove this to make it usable space only. So total difference for harmonized is 49.1 square meter. For pre-harmonized is 53.7 square meter. And that brings us to a difference of 4.6 square meter. But price point wise, if I take the biggest gap from these two transactions, right, would be 200,000 more. And what this translates to is that we are paying 4,040 PSF for this extra 4.6 square meter. But these two, right, the layout, right, on average, right, we're paying about how much? 2,005 PSF?
2005.
Right, 2,005 PSF, which means paying 4,000 plus PSF for this extra space, you're paying about 60% more. Or 60% more for this extra space. So, as we mentioned, this layout is pretty similar. For this case, right, I would feel, honestly, the harmonized one will make a bit more sense, although it's smaller, because I won't want to pay 60% more extra PSF for similar layout at a slightly bigger space. Yeah.
I also go for the harmonized one. In this case, harmonized one looks more worth it.
Alright, then we bring back to another comparison, which is a 3-bedder.
So for this 3-bedroom, we take into comparison again, they are in the same location, just different development. Okay, we can also see that the layout is also very similar. It's just a very typical 3-bedder with all the bedrooms tucked one side, okay, and enclosed kitchen. So the only difference is, you can see the study. This study is much bigger as compared to this, and this one comes with a household shelter. Yeah, but other than that, very similar. Even the size is same. So harmonized, this is 1023 square feet. Pre-harmonized is also 1023 square feet. Of course, this one counts in the aircon ledge.
Okay, so that means for the harmonized one, I can say easily, right, that the size is actually bigger than the pre-harmonized one.
Correct. The usable space will be bigger.
Alright.
So for harmonized, right, it's already transacted at 2.29 mil all the way to 2.425 mil. And for the pre-harmonized, it's 2.08 mil to 2.399 mil.
So in terms of the comparison, again, the yellow color one is harmonized. The light blue one is pre-harmonized. Right, if we break it down into like the different room sizes, everything, the aircon ledge again for harmonized we don't include. For pre-harmonized, it's 5.5 square meter, but we exclude it out. So we minus this away, total usable space for the harmonized one will be 95 square meter. For the pre-harmonized one is 89.5 square meter, which is something that we already know lah. The harmonized one, if these two show the same size, right, would definitely be bigger for the usable space. But what this translates to is the difference of 5.5 square meter. And if we take the biggest gap between the price transacted here, will be $150,000 more, which is equivalent to 2,500 PSF, which is okay because this displays here, right? The transaction is also about there. 2,005-ish lah, plus minus kind of PSF. So for those that actually need the bigger usable space, yes, you can actually go for the harmonized one. Probably you get the extra bomb shelter, and that's more about it lah, the bomb shelter. Because bomb shelter itself already, how much? A bomb shelter will sell 4.4 already square meter, so more or less there lah. Maybe somewhere in between, like for example, the bedroom, you get another 0.2 compared to here, square meter. So makes sense if you want to get a bigger space. The question is now, whether I should go for pre-harmonized or harmonized to get this slightly bigger space. But if those that know where this location is, it's actually a location, right, that has very high potential for HDB upgraders to enter. So every time we talk about HDB upgraders, there's only one thing that we talk about, which is affordability. So today, let's say I buy this unit, the pre-harmonized one, at 2.08 mil. But then I need to buy a harmonized one, a bigger space, which is, okay, the price PSF makes sense. But I need to pay 2.3 mil. Affordability-wise, right, I'll definitely say we'll definitely go to pre-harmonized. Right, because the layout is quite decent, right?
Very decent.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I prefer the pre-harmonized layout. Because first, we talk about the kitchen. We know usually 3-bedder is for own stay, right? So kitchen we will use very often. So this kitchen over here, right, they only have a window over here. That means my kitchen might be dark. I need to on the light throughout the day. This one has glass over here and window over here. So my kitchen is ventilated, plus it's going to be bright. Yeah, and on top of that, you say, oh, here got the bomb shelter, I got extra storage. Actually, the study here is also a very decent size. It can be a storage, it can be a helper room, it can also be a study.
Actually, this study room, if you notice closely, right, is actually a lot more usable compared to the harmonized one.
Correct.
Because harmonized one is 3.3 square meter and it's very squarish lah. But when it's become rectangular, right, that's where you can put a study table. So livability for the pre-harmonized, although it's a bit smaller, but it's very decent. Right. At the end of the day, right, another thing that we haven't discussed is on the selling part. So affordability, we talked about it already, but when we advertise this time, this plays a huge role. Because the PSF will plays a huge difference. Because we're selling at the same size, definitely marketed at the same size. Of course, we understand that pre-harmonized, once again, the aircon latch is not usable space. But we advertise, it's advertised at 1023 square feet. So in terms of PSF, the pre-harmonized one would definitely look a lot more attractive. And in terms of quantum, when people start to filter on any listing portals, the first thing what you do, you filter by?
Price.
Okay, so let's say you filter by price. If I'm the seller that bought at 2.229 mil, how much you want to sell?
2.5, 2.6?
2.5 lah, I say 2.5 mil. But let's say today, if I'm the seller for this pre-harmonized one, I bought at 2.08, can I just sell at, let's say, 2.4 mil? It's still cheaper than the seller from the harmonized unit. So when you filter by price, and we know that the market here mostly are upgraders and they need affordability, this one will definitely get a little bit more demand.
Will attract more people.
Right, a little bit more demand in the market. So this is a strength. I think this is one of the value for this pre-harmonized unit. For this case, I would choose the pre-harmonized unit. It might be easier to exit. So ultimately, at the end of the day, harmonized or pre-harmonized, I think this one is just guideline and also transparency to consumers on what is the usable space. At the end of the day, we must count a few things. For example, livability, price point, or how you want to exit. All these things all boils down to one thing, which is value. What is the real value of the unit itself? Not just harmonized and pre-harmonized. Harmonized and pre-harmonized is just one factor that may affect it. So we're just going to show another example, which is both harmonized and how you can actually have a more value unit, a better buy unit.
So for this 3-bedroom comparison, we are taking it from the same development. They have a pretty similar layout and they have the same facing. So this 3-bedroom, this is 1044 square feet. Okay, this one is actually fully sold already. The whole stack sold already. And they are transacted at 2.568 all the way to 3 mil. For this one, this is a 3 dual key, same facing as I mentioned. This is 1130 square feet. And the price for the available unit now is at 2.976 mil.
Right.
And actually, this is also a pretty high floor, which is, I think, it's 24th floor.
Okay, so same facing, Then surrounding HDB is about
12.
12 story, right? So that means both technically is unblocked view. Of course, the 40th floor one will definitely be slightly better, like in terms of the view. It will definitely face nicer. Yeah, but today what we're going to concentrate on is the value of this unit. When you buy into this unit, how can you exit? We're talking about this thing called safe. Which one is safer? So today, let's say for example, if you buy this at the 40th floor at 3 mil, this price at the 24th floor is also very close to 3 mil. But what you get extra, you get the extra space. And if I break it down how much the extra space is that overall, the 3-bedroom one, you're getting 97 square meter total. The 3-bedroom dual key, you're getting at 104.8 square meter, which means it's a 7.8 square meter, technically paying the same price. So,
Free
what?
free space.
Yeah, because technically you're getting free space for this. I mean, per floor level jump makes sense to pay a little bit more, but it's so similar, right? It's very, very similar. You get almost the unblocked view that everyone wants really.
And if you want to compare like on the same level, 40th floor versus 40th floor for the dual key, right? Actually, the dual key at 40th floor is 3.108 mil. So
Okay.
the difference is 107K difference.
Compared to the 3.011 mil lah.
Correct. For 84 square feet more. Yeah, and this, if you break down into PSF, is only 1,273
Right.
PSF extra.
So this 1,273 PSF extra is actually compared to the PSF that you buy here. I mean, it's cheap.
Very worth it.
Because down here, the PSF is about 2,008 PSF, right? For this that you buy. So this 1,000 plus PSF for extra space
Makes sense.
makes sense.
Very worth it.
Yeah.
We are not saying that this 3-bedroom is not good. It's just a very typical 3-bedder, very acceptable in the current market with very decent kitchen size and bedroom sizes. Okay, but for this dual key, right, I would say we have more options. Okay, because for 3-bedder, usually family, or I think this one is very suitable for multi-generation. Because at the end of the day, you are the owner of the house. Then do you give your parent the master room or you take the master room?
I want to take lah.
Dilemma, right?
But I don't know whether I'm not filial piety lah. Yeah. 不孝子. Yeah.
Okay, but for dual key, you don't have this problem. In fact, I think I will go and take the studio. I just tear down the pantry. I have a very long wardrobe.
If you need to tear down lah, but let's say for example, if your parents stay here,
And then we give them,
actually the
they have
pantry
their own
may,
little kitchen.
may be good for them also leh.
Yeah, and they also have their own attached bathroom. Then I still have my master room. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think this one gives you a lot more option. If let's say your kids grow up already and you say, oh, we still want to stay in this place, we can even rent out here to get income to help to reduce the mortgage.
Not a lot of this kind of studio right now, right? They give you almost the full appliances. I mean, this one, okay, lack of stove. But of course, stove, you can only get a portable kind of stove. Other than that, you do have your washer dryer, your fridge, your sink. So space, all this is already done already. Right? We have seen studios before, they don't even have washer dryer. So you have to go and do up yourself. Right? So this one is definitely very rentable. And for those that already guess the location, this location is very good for rental.
And it's also very rare that you have the kitchen that's linked to the balcony. So your kitchen will be 24/7, well ventilated and very bright.
Right.
Because I have some buyers who say, oh, but dual key every time need to sell more expensive in the market, then nobody want to look at dual key. But can I say this development, right, because the dual key and the 3-bedder, right, they are priced so similar. At the end of the day, in the resale market, I can just market this as a normal 3-bedder. My size is bigger. My price point is going to be very similar. This will be very attractive for the future buyer.
Correct. Yeah, so this location also mainly is upgraders and affordability is the keyword again for this place here. At the same time, the size also must make sense. Okay, we're not saying must buy the dual key. But what I'm saying is that the size and price makes sense at this point of time. But if I'm the first few buyers that get to choose the unit that I want or the floor level I want, honestly, I won't go so near to 3 mil lah. You see, the starting is about 2.5 mil. So the truth is, if let's say I go up to 2.8 mil, about there, I think, still okay, right? Because 2.8 mil, I can buy very decent level for the 3-bedroom. In the future, I exit at a point of time, again, my price point I bought lower. So affordability is good for the upgraders. I don't need to sell too high for the HDB upgraders. Easier for me to exit. Then now, if I go so close to the 3-bedroom, and in terms of the price point is so similar, can I say the 3-bedroom dual key now becomes a lot safer? Because the price point is so close. Yeah, so in conclusion, I just summarize again, harmonization really is just one of the factors that's involved. At the end of the day, your unit selection depends on the price point you're entering, the layout, whether it's efficient, and of course, must always think of the exit strategy, like who is the buyer that will buy from you in the future. I think the one is the main highlight. So at the end of the day, if you're still very confused whether to buy a harmonized unit or pre-harmonized unit, what you can do is let us know, and we can actually go through you and break it down for you to see which one is of a value buy today. Because there are still some existing stocks, right? There's pre-harmonized one. So that's all, and see you in the next video.
See you.